There's a well-known metaphor used by Jim Collins, the author of Good to Great, that to build a winning team, you have to get the right people on the bus. But my experience, you have to take the metaphor much further. Not only do you want to get the right people on the bus, you want to get the right people in the right seats and get them playing nicely with each other. In other words, you want to recruit the best, most talented people in the market and make sure they're playing the right role on your team and make sure they're exhibiting the right behaviour. When it comes to hiring, the first thing is to understand is that as an employer, you have to position yourself as a buyer, not a seller. A lot of business owners approach hiring like they really are the desperate ones. They just absolutely need this position filled. They need the employee and they come to the whole kind of thing groveling. But you have to position the whole thing as you are the buyer, not the seller. Welcome to Summit Scale, where entrepreneurial business owners come to learn how to grow their small businesses into mid-sized companies. Now, one of the analogies I love to use for hiring is fishing. Hiring is like fishing. The firms who get the best people are the ones that get a lot of fish on the deck so that they can be choosy. You want to have a whole lot of people coming to us who really want this job so that we can really be the buyer choosing and making a good decision. So the goal of our employee acquisition plan is generate more than enough leads of high quality candidates by deploying multiple recruitment strategies to market for employees in unusual ways. And we have to look at recruiting like marketing. So here's the 4-step recruitment system that we use to get the best fish, so to speak, out of the water. The first one is prepare the bait. Our goal is to market for employees in unusual ways, and marketing starts with preparing the bait. We've got to create the ad, the description of the opportunity in a way that really gets a fish wanting to jump on board. The second step is to cast the net. We have to use a lot of different strategies to do this and generate leads. One of the biggest mistakes I've seen business owners make is not having enough strategies out there to get enough people applying for the position. And then every time they have a position to fill, they get only 2 or 3 applicants. But the challenge is that if you've got only 2 or 3 applicants that are suitable for the position, that might not be enough. We need to have 5 or 10 people to choose from. You have a much better chance of finding the real talent. The third step is to be able to sort the fish. One of the other reasons that business owners often do not cast the big net is because they don't want to interview 10 or 15 people. They know that they'll have to interview people, but say, I'm just going to choose from 2 or 3 applicants because I don't want to burn a lot of time. But that's a very deceiving downward spiral, because what's going to happen is the business owner will get 2 or 3 people, they'll interview them, choose the best one of the 2 or 3, and in a lot of cases, this amounts to basically choosing the lesser of 2 or 3 evils. Then they'll bring that person in, that person won't work out, then the business owner will be back to the drawing board. So that's why we have the third step in our recruiting system, a virtual interview process, which cuts down the interviewing dramatically and acts as an automated filtering mechanism. And this could be a voicemail interview or many other pre-screening automated techniques. And then we get to step number 4, reel them in. You're going to choose the 1 or 2 best ones out of a group that you've sorted out in this virtual interview, and that's step number 3, and then reel them in. And at step number 4, we use a test drive process, which is another kind of special interviewing process. So, for example, if you're hiring salespeople, bring 5 to 10 people in and have them sit at the phones and actually try to generate leads, or have them do role-playing with each other. Here's another example. In the manufacturing or construction business, you can bring the people in, have them do a work sample or do a few hours on the job site with you. That way you can actually see how many units they convert per hour, how they start working with the crew or the team, what their work ethic is like, and the kind of skills that they have. And the last thing you want to do as part of reeling them in is you put the final 2 to 3 candidates through a psychometric profiling process. This one step alone can dramatically reduce the chance of making a mishire. And the goal is to make sure that the person you are about to hire for the position will be in the right role for them, a role best suited to their strengths. I'm Shane Spears of Summit Scale. See you next time.